God is not static in his operations. The same God that led the people of Israel out of the land of captivity through a prophet by the name Moses was the same God that brought the people of Israel into the land of promise through the ministry of a man called Joshua. You must understand that God is constant in his nature. God is holy, God is righteous, God detests evil. There is no day and time that will come that the nature of God will change. The nature of God is constant, but you see, the operations and the schemes of God are evolving. In the Old Testament, men were called a people of God as a result of a covenant God cut with a man called Abraham. And God, years later, gave the 10 Commandments to a man by the name Moses. Before the existence of Moses, God gave a man called Abraham insight into his operations. So God told Abraham to leave his family, to leave his nationality, to a land that he will show him, which is called the land of promise. God wanted to start something new, something different with Abraham, and he knew that if Abraham should remain with his conversant environment, if Abraham should remain amongst his clansmen, his tribesmen, what God wanted to do would be abortive, would be tampered with, would be hampered. So what God did was that God had to broadcast the news to Abraham. God told Abraham, I want to begin a move with you. This move will give birth to a conglomerate of people that will be called my own people. The first man, Adam, was made in my image and likeness, and was placed in a topography called Eden. Eden was found in this earthly realm. When I made this first man called Adam, I gave him all he needed. I gave him access to the Garden of Eden. In the garden there was a river, but Adam disobeyed me as a result of the deception that came through the devil. And when Adam disobeyed me, Adam was driven out of the Garden of Eden. As a result of that, my relationship with Adam was hampered, was destroyed. Man's access and proximity with God was destroyed as a result of the sin of Adam. What is sin? Sin simply means the violation of a principle. What you call a crime is what we call sin. A crime is the violation of a constitution, of a given territory. Adam committed sin. Adam violated a principle, an instruction of God, and as a result of that, the relationship Adam had with God was broken. So God wanted to restore back that relationship, that access that man had with him, because man was designed by God to have constant intimacy, constant interaction with God. Man was designed to be an enterprise, an entity that will have access to the totality of God. Man was designed by God as the apex of his creation to be able to have access to the full knowledge of God. But this was tempered, this was hampered as a result of sin, the sin of the first man Adam. So the moment the first man Adam disobeyed God, man, the entity, the reality, the entity called man, no longer had access to the presence of God, because man was driven out of the Garden of Eden. So God wanted to call forth a set of people that would be called his own people. God wanted to have a similitude. So God wanted to have a restoration, a comeback of a relationship that he once had with the first man Adam in the Garden of Eden that was lost as a result of disobedience. So what God did was that he first called a man by the name Abraham, and God cutted a covenant. What is a covenant? A covenant is a divine agreement between his deity and a mortal man. So God cutted a covenant between him and Abraham. God told Abraham, I will make your seed my people. And for this covenant to be passed down to the next generation, there are certain rituals that must be adhered to. First, God told Abraham, every male child will be circumcised after 7 days. The circumcision of every male child is a token of the covenant I have cutted with you, Abraham. God did not give the 10 commandments to Abraham. God kick-started a relationship between him and the man called Abraham. But you see, as many